So I got a question in the email from a young Polish designer whose name I will never manage to pronounce accurately, so sorry my friend, but he asked 3 questions, so here they are. The first one was, what is the best way to gain experience as a designer? And he mentions several programs like Hyper Island, which is a pretty awesome kind of web and interactive program. But here's what I think. I think that the best way to gain experience as a designer is actually to work at one of the best companies or teams next to people who are super excellent at what they do. So what I learned in 6 months working at a top branding agency is way more than what I learned during 4 years of design school. And then after that, I moved into a startup, and what I learned in 6 months working at a startup, the first 6 months, I mean, is just like mind-blowing. So when you get into a really top-notch place working next to great people, you have a huge learning curve that after probably 6 months is kind of like, you know, plateaus, but the first 6 months are just like you learn so much. Now, I don't mean that to say that education or design school or such programs as Hyper Islands don't matter, because it's very probable that I would never get those jobs at this branding agency or a startup if I didn't go to a good design school. So maybe what you have to do is check out what are the best firms or companies or teams that you want to work at, and then see what it takes to work there. Look at the people who work there, check out their portfolios, check out their CVs, try to even talk to them to understand what it really takes to get a job at one of those top places. And maybe it will take a while, maybe you have to do some things in order to get that job, but getting that job is the thing that will gain you most experience. Second question he asked, what I think are the top skills that I think designers should have? And what I think is the first one, learning new skills and being adaptive. Because if you can't learn new skills, if you're not good at learning new stuff, you're gonna just stagnate. I mean, all the software, I started as a designer maybe 15 years ago working on Photoshop. Now I almost don't use Photoshop for like 5% of my work. I use Sketch, Webflow, InDesign, software that, InVision I meant, software that didn't even exist like 5 years ago. So you always have to learn new stuff in order to survive and succeed. So that's super important skill. The second skill is people skill, you know, how to work with people. And it might sound weird that this is like the most important skill to succeed as a designer, but whether it's obvious, if you're a freelancer, you have to work with your client, you have to have good relationships so that they would recommend you to other people, you have to be good at networking, so that's obvious. But even if you're working at a studio, at a company, whatever, then you have to learn how to work with your boss, with your colleagues, how to get, you know, promotions, how to manage other people. So if you don't know how to work with other people successfully, you're never gonna make it in anything. And it's true that perhaps some people are more naturally good in that, more friendly and stuff like that, but I do think that it's possible to learn this and improve this. I always try to read more books about this and try to, you know, push myself in uncomfortable places and talk to people. So I really think this is something that you can and you should improve, and it's super important. The third question was that if I had some kind of a mistake that I regret in the past that's possible to learn from. So I make mistakes daily and I share them on this vlog with you guys, but I love my mistakes and I really try to learn from them. So there's nothing really that I regret. Yeah, there's nothing really that I regret. All mistakes are I mean, if you try to, I mean, except death, most things are fixable, so it's okay to make mistakes as long as you learn from them, and I'm not really regretting anything. So by the time I upload this, it's probably Christmas or Hanukkah, and you're probably not even watching this because you're with your family. So hope you have great holidays. This is pretty epic sunset going on right here, and I'm going out for my weekend. Hope you guys have great holidays. I'll be here next week, keeping the vlog, keeping the hustle. Have a great one.